Hello, good day. This is Samuel, and today I want to talk to you guys about AMD CPUs. More specifically, there has been a rumor going around that AMD will launch 4 new CPUs this month. And this is huge. Come on, guys, this is huge. Because as we know, for a while, AMD has been selling the 5600X and the 5800X at an excessive price. Matter of fact, I'll even go as far as to say AMD has been pretty sneaky by launching those two CPUs and ignoring the history of the non-X versions, which usually cost less. So, videocards.com has it that they will release later this month, and apparently this is the most interesting part for me. The 5700X will be cheaper than the Intel 12600KF, and this is huge, because if the 5700X, an 8-core 16-thread CPU, is going to be cheaper than the Intel 12600KF, that means we are finally going to get a high performance CPU for under $280. That is huge. I almost can't believe it. Matter of fact, I will take this with a grain of salt. I think it will be around $300 US, because if you watch the history of the 3700X and the 2700X, they all launch around $300 to $330 US. But I am excited for the launch of these CPUs nonetheless. Now, here's some exciting news for those who have X370 motherboards and B350 motherboards. And I realize that not a lot of people know this, right? That MSI and other motherboard manufacturers launched support for firmware X in the BIOS for like a couple months now. Now this is huge for me, and I realize a lot of people know this because when I was on Reddit speaking to some other commenters, they were actually surprised to know that the X370 motherboards had support for firmware. And I understand why, because AMD spent a lot of time trying to convince us all that the X370 and B350 motherboards could not have support for firmware CPUs. I personally found it a little bit sneaky from AMD, but they ended up going back on their word in the end and allowing us to install firmware. So this is huge, guys. So if you have a B350 motherboard or an X370 motherboard, I definitely think you should try to take advantage of this, because this is huge for all of us. Just to give you guys an example, this is my motherboard, the X370 Gaming Pro. And this is what I mean by this update came a little bit sneaky, because as you can see, this is the latest version of my BIOS, but nowhere does it say it has support for firmware CPUs. But this BIOS, which is just labeled beta version, actually holds support for firmware CPUs. What they did do, though, just to give you guys a warning, if you want to install the 5600G, there is no support for that CPU. So the 5600G, and I believe it's, as long as it's at a G at the end of it, I don't think it has support. But this BIOS has support for firmware CPUs, as I was saying before. Anyway, guys, you guys, just wanted to let everyone know this is my first video recording or audio recording, and wanted to let you guys know that those on X370 and B350 motherboards look for this BIOS update, because if you're like me, you do not want to update your motherboard because it is an entire ordeal, you know. So you guys have fun. Peace out.